Hello, my friends. This is Dr. Aviner, Rabbi Aviner. And today our class is Theft Part 4. And in our current cycle. And the name of it would be, what did Abraham fight for? What was the struggle that Abraham was fighting against? And as we start, we should first ask, I know many people ask that question, if Noahide are involved in the seventh commandment, or if the Torah wishes all mankind to follow Noah's seventh commandment, well, why should we stop by learning about Noah and the Rainbow Covenant? Why should we continue in the book of Genesis and learn about Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Joseph? Well, we should have stopped by Noah. The rest of it could be voluntarily. But why should we emphasize that Abraham too, as Jacob and Joseph, are really involved in the basic seventh commandment of Noah? So what's the answer? The answer will be given to you today in our class. So let's see, when we look at the Abraham stories from above, one by one, and we can ask, can we paint them in one color? Is there a common thread that connects all the stories of Abraham from the beginning to the end? For instance, I'll give you an example. When we learn about Noah and his struggle against bloodshed, so we saw that all the story of Noah, from Cain and Abel until the Rainbow Covenant and the flood, all of them revolve around bloodshed, which is number 3 of Adam. So we could paint, so to speak, all the story of Noah and the bloodshed with red. Going back a little bit, look at the story of Eden. We can see that the story of Eden revolves around love, heavenly love, sexual love, marriage, adultery. Eden itself, the name is a sexual pleasure. So we could paint all the stories of Eden with, let's say, pink, to present love and sexual promiscuity, sexual love. That's Eden. And going back to chapter 1, as we remember, chapter 1 introduced idolatry. When Hashem says, let us make Adam in our form, in our image, in plural voice, Rashi says, he opened the door for idolatry. And in fact, all chapter 1, it revolves around idolatry. Tell you who is God, what are his names, who are the idols, and so on. So we could paint, so to speak, chapter 1 with gold. So we have gold for idolatry, chapter 1, pink for adultery, sexual promiscuity, chapter of Eden, read for all the stories of Noah, how bloodshed developed. You remember the stories there? All of them revolve around bloodshed. And in fact, the Rainbow Covenant itself is about the bloodshed. Can we do the same thing now with Abraham? Can we look at all the classes, all the stories about Abraham? Can we find a common color? So let's see the stories one by one, again, only from a bird view, without going into detail. So what are the stories in short? The first story about Abraham, about his birth and his history in Syria, in fact, is given by the Talmud. It's not in the text. And it presents how it shows how Abraham had the conception of ownership. Also, it shows how Abraham rejected idolatry, but also how he developed the concept of ownership. What was the story in short? I'll tell you now. The story goes like this. When Abraham was young, he helped his father selling idols in a store. So as he was helping his father selling the idols, he asked one day his father, Father, what right do we have to sell those gods? So the father said, we are the artist, and the artist has a right to own the things he produces. So Abraham says, if that's so, do we have the right to destroy them? The father kind of raised his brows. He didn't say anything. But when the father was out of the store, Abraham took the stick and broke all the idols in the store, and he left the stick in the idols, in the bigger one that he left intact. And when the father came and saw the devastation, he asked him, Abraham, what happened? So Abraham, the boy, said, you see that guy there on the corner? The big one, when you were not here, he took the stick and broke everything, all the others. So his father started to laugh. So Abraham said, if you don't believe in them, why do you worship them? But that story is kind of funny, but it tells us how Abraham actually absorbs the idea from his father, the artist, that the artist owns them, and he kept it in mind, because the next step in Abraham's faith, when he came out to the faith on his own, how did he come out to the faith on its own? The rabbi said he went out and he noticed how beautiful the universe is. What a kind of beautiful machinery it is. And the colors, the flower, everything is so full of wisdom. And he said, that's a smart castle. It's a beautiful castle that an architect, smart architect built. That was one step. And then he said, oh, in that case, the architect also owns it. By what virtue? By virtue of the artist to own his art. And that stuck in his mind. And later on, at age 48, he met Noah, who was still alive, And Noah told him all the ancient tradition of Hashem, as you remember from the earlier chapters. So Abraham became a prophet for Noah. He started teaching Noah's 7 commandments, with everything involved in it. But we added the idea that Hashem is not only the creator, but also the owner of the world. And you see that when he come in the war of the 4 kings against the 5 kings, and the king of Sodom wanted to share with him the loot. And Abraham says, oh, I raised my hand, I swore that I swore in the name of Hashem, the supreme heir, who purchased all the heaven and the earth, that I will not share with you from a thread to a shoelace. Which means, since Hashem is the owner, everything belongs to him. It's forbidden to steal. And therefore, I will not share with you, king of Sodom, who is known the master of thieves. I will not share with you anything. So that's the first story. Certainly involved around theft, around the idea of righteous ownership. Righteous ownership means you legally, righteously own things that you produce, or you buy or trade, but you don't steal. That's story number 1, followed immediately by the story number 2, which is as he's traveling in the land of Canaan, he come across a Canaanite. And the verse says there, the Canaanites were in the land. And Rashi says, what does it mean? And he explained, it means that Canaanites were conquering the land of Canaan from the Amorites who were sitting there before. The Amorites are legally owner because they are the descendant of Shem. Canaan was the son of Ham, had nothing to do with this area. Yet the Canaanites stole the land from the Amorites. That's number 2 story. Again, theft. Here talking about theft, stealing land. Don't belong to them. The next story, number 3, in short, is a hunger. Abraham goes to Egypt, and his wife Sarah is abducted. Story about theft. Now here is abduction of a person. We're not going into detail. We're just looking on the topic. The topic is theft. And then the story of Lot, Abraham's nephew, that immediately follows. Abraham departs from him in anger. On what reason? What base? Because Lot's shepherd people stole water from the local, and Abraham couldn't stand it. So much is tell you, if you go to the right, I'll go to the left. If you go to the left, I'll go to the right. Total separation from Lot forever because of theft, stealing water. And Lot goes to Sodom and Gomorrah, a place where stealing is very rampant, as we will learn later on. So we talk about ownership, we talk about the Canaanite, we talk about Egyptian abducting Sarah, and then we talk about Lot. It's already 4 stories, and then another story, 5, is the story of the kings. 4 kings come waging war against the 5 because they don't pay taxes. What right do the 4 from the north have? What right do they have to ask taxes from the 4 king on the south? But that's the issue of empire, organized theft that Abraham disdained. So that's another story of stealing. Now, empire, organized theft. That was the main problem of the society of Abraham's time. People organized armies. They found a good way to make a living. Organized theft. It started in Mesopotamia, Gilgamesh, and it spread all over until today. That's how you become rich and wealthy and important. So that's another story about theft. And the city of Sodom and Gomorrah, of course, itself is all about theft there. As opposed to stealing, Abraham reacts just the opposite. He planted Eshel tree. Eshel is a name of a tree, but it's acronym for Achila, Shtia, Lina, food, drinking, and sleeping. He built a hotel where he offered charity free of charge, the opposite of stealing. He also offered a new name to Hashem. Hashem is the owner of everything. That by itself is a big invention. Nobody else saw that before him. And even called Hashem my master, Adonai, my owner. And I belong to him. I'm a slave. So what then, is there any common thread? Yes. Of course, Abraham fought for idolatry. We know the stories, but on the surface, at least, it looked like that Abraham fought against theft, number 4 of Adam, the same way that Noah fought against bloodshed, which is number 3. So can we color them? Yeah, we can color all the story of Abraham now with, let's say, green. Green stands for lust. My neighbor lawn is greener. Okay, so let's say Abraham is green, Noah is red, Eden is pink, and idolatry in chapter 1 is gold. You can find other colors to suit you. But the idea is that they come in one block. So so we see that Abraham Adam knew as a result, let's say, as a result of his fight against theft, as a reward, if you wish, Hashem gave him another commandment, number 8, circumcision. There are many explanations to circumcision, but according to Sforno, or the Pshat, most simple explanation, circumcision is the emblem of our owner in our flesh. That actually expresses the idea of Adonai, my master, my owner. In English, it's interesting, is translated as a Lord. But if you read the English translation, Lord, you have no idea what it means. But Adonai, which is translated as Lord, is a nickname for Hashem. Abraham's invention is so important that his invention became the nickname for Hashem. So we can ask the same question again. Has Abraham has anything to do with the sixth commandment of Adam? As Abraham has anything to do with Adam and Noah before him? Yes. His new contribution is just another step. It came to enforce. Adam 8, circumcision, one step above Noah 7, didn't come in limbo. It's not just another commandment. It came to enforce our struggle against theft, which is number 4. 8 came to enforce 4. Noah 7 came to enforce bloodshed 3. And later on, we will see that Jacob 9, 9th commandment, sciatic nerve, came to enforce justice, which is number 5. So 9 came to enforce 5. 8 came to enforce 4th. And 7 came to enforce the 3. So there's always a difference of four levels. But if you go to the story now that is presented to us by Genesis, God gave Adam the 6th commandment. And now on earth, as mankind stumble on them, God sent precious souls to help humanity come out from the sunken mud. As mankind stumble on bloodshed, he sent us the precious soul of Noah. And Noah added his own commandment. His own commandment was just made mankind stronger. But it tells us not to eat blood and not to eat a leaf from a torn animal. So it increases our sensitivity to cruelty, which is a basic of bloodshed. So Noah enforces 3, the strong horse that pulled the wagon out. And because mankind stumble over bloodshed big time. When Abraham came, 10 generations later, and mankind stumbled over organized theft, mainly, and other things. So Hashem sent us a precious soul to fight against theft and to pull the wagon out. And he made it stronger by giving him another commandment, circumcision, which enforces our struggle against theft, because everything belongs to Hashem. If my flesh belongs to Hashem, then stealing, there is no point in stealing. And there is a good point for charity. So we can see now the basic 6th commandment of Adam is a tree. And the tree needs to branch out. As it grows outside on earth, there are new level of, I don't know how to, can we think about, it's a kind of new branches or that enforces the trunk of the tree. So all the level above 6 like Noah 7, and Abraham 8, and Jacob 9, and the Ten Commandments 10. All of them came to strengthen, to reinforce the trunk of the basic six. I said including the Ten Commandments, because they are not in limbo. They also came to increase holiness against blasphemy, which is number 6 of Adam. So again, the trunk given to us in Eden comprises of 6 commandments, and all the commandments above the 6 came to enforce a certain level in the trunk. Noah enforces bloodshed with the 3rd level, and Abraham enforces theft, which is the 4th level. That's how we should look at the commandment, and that's why all the stories in Genesis, including the stories of Abraham and Jacob and Joseph and the Exodus, on the surface they don't belong to Noah, but they are very much involved in Noah because they enforce the basic idea of Hashem, and they only came to enforce the basic 6 commandments of Adam. And each one, actually, every time a new commandment is given, there's also a new level of dedication required. When I worship Hashem as his slave, as Adam said, he is my owner and I belong to him, I'm more dedicated to his work than Noah. And when Jacob came and introduced Shatik Nev standing and fighting for the truth, for justice, it's much more higher level of dedication than even Abraham. And Joseph stood a lot of trials of blasphemy, as we will learn. So the higher you go with the stories, you need more. It requires us much more level of dedication and passion to Hashem than the original ones. Because only that way the wagon of humanity will come out of the mud. You need stronger and stronger horses. Apparently, the storm of Noah was not enough, the horse of Noah. He needed Abraham. Abraham pulling the wagon was good, but not enough. Hashem sent us Jacob. And from Jacob, stronger, but also was not enough. Needed Joseph to pull the wagon even higher. And finally, to give us the 10 Commandments. So that's the story of the day. We have, so the bottom line is, Noahide has very, very much to do with all the story of Genesis, because all of them support the basic 6 of Adam. Thank you very much.